Well, this is Nicholas Bell speaking with the one and only Isabelle Huppert in Los Angeles the night after the gala tribute to Elle and you at the 2016 AFI Film Festival. So I saw this originally at Cannes, and I know you traveled with it to TIFF at Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And is this the third festival you've traveled with to see it?
With Elle, let me think. We went to Cannes, we went to London.
Okay.
London Film Festival. We went to Toronto. We went to San Sebastian, even though it was
That's right.
Yeah, but
okay.
we did go to the festival. So this would be it has to be my fifth
Wow, okay.
place where I go.
Have you noticed a difference in audience reaction since Cannes or across cities?
Not really, actually.
No.
I have to say, wherever I went, it was always very positive, very wonderful reactions.
Oh yeah.
Like really, it looks like people really get the film. You know,
For sure.
how it is.
Yeah,
and that's really.
Yes.
I didn't expect the reaction to be so unanimously positive. No, I didn't expect
I agree. I read another interview where you had expressed surprise that it wasn't like at Cannes you thought there'd be more controversial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe because I only meet the good people.
Yeah.
The other people, maybe they don't even want to meet me, and so. But yeah, it's really nice.
I had read an article in Time this week after the kind of devastating presidential elections here.
Yeah.
Somebody had predicted greater resonance with watching the article compared you to Hillary Clinton, your character.
I read that too. Yeah.
Okay,
That's funny.
all right. Did you agree with what they were saying?
About feminine empowerment and
Yes,
everything.
yeah,
Yes, I would have to reread the article because I read it briefly, but then I could tell, yes, that there was this, comparison. Well, I can only agree if we talk about, feminine empowerment. Yes, yeah. But then I'm not sure in detail how was going the comparison between the two.
I think basically that some people have difficulty letting themselves be controlled by
by a woman. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. The world is still very misogynistic, I think.
Yes,
very,
yes.
That you have to admit, most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the article, I was struck by the author used a phrase "abusive control." Like your character Michel is an abuser of control, which is interesting considering abuse of weakness.
Yes, exactly. She's abusing something no matter what.
Yes.
Always.
And then, in relation to that, Elle has been described, and I'm mashing up some quotes here, by you and Verhoeven, tossed around the term post-feminist fairy tale, and unpacking kind of what that means. If Michel is a woman existing in a kind of a fairy tale post-feminine universe, meaning that women are allowed to be on the same platform as men, do you see her as someone that's still coded by her gender to manipulate, to control in a certain way?
In a certain way, precisely. That's what makes the big difference. She controls. Yes, obviously, yes, she does control. I mean, she doesn't want to be a victim, and she takes control upon what happens to her. But in a very, that's why I like to call it a very post-feminist way, in the sense that she doesn't fall into the caricature of the classical, even almost masculine Avenger taking the gun and shooting the guy. I mean, it's a lot more, complex and tricky in a way. And unpredictable, and but yes, that's what she does.
Because she's still very much a mother and a daughter, but but she's using those ways in that role to control those people. Well,
that's interesting because regarding the family relationships, whether it is with her mother or with her son, or she it's interesting. I mean, it's ambivalent because she does have control, but those people are also dependent on her.
Right.
I mean, she gives money to her mother, she gives money to her son. So I mean, but of course, we all know that when there is a money relationship between people, it's a way of having control upon people. But it might be also a control that she doesn't want, that she doesn't really want. But as a matter of fact, because she has this money relationship with so many people around her, that at the end of the day, yes, it's hard to determine the border between what she controls and what she doesn't want to control, just because people are dependent on her.
Yeah.
It happens,
Right.
So that's interesting. But that's in fact, that's the way she relates to most of people, and that's what makes her really a strong woman, but maybe not willing to be that strong. But she has to be strong because all these people are dependent on her.
Right. Well, I've seen Elle twice now, and what I keep coming back to is control is matter of perspective, and you choose, like she's choosing not to be a victim. And I keep coming to the phrase that people use, like she's out of control. There's only really one sequence where Michel is out of control, meaning she doesn't have it, and that's the rape in the beginning because she's not expecting it.
Yeah, and even more so, if I want to be precise, I think that when she really loses control is when the fourth rape happens, because it ends up, obviously she's having kind of pleasure at that moment, I mean, it's very difficult to exactly determine what she goes through at that moment, but it's clear that, something happens in her at that moment, but yes, apart from these moments, of course, she never loses control, but again, she in a way that's never, like a caricature of most of the time when we have women's representations on how they have control, you have you have these women who go along some of the male patterns, masculine patterns, and she's not that sort, she's well, of course she runs a video game company and she has young employees under her control. She's just a woman who runs.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't give her, unusual or unexpected sort of power. She runs a company as exactly like a man would run a company.
Right.
Except she's a woman.
I also kept thinking there's a scene where Al Pacino in Angels in America as Roy Cohn says something like, "I'm a man who sleeps with men, but I'm not gay because gay men are weak." And to me, Michel Reeds is very much a woman who kind of rejects stereotypes of her gender because she has power.
Yeah, exactly. She has power and she doesn't have to prove something else.
Right.
Plus, in addition to that, of course, it's clear that Verhoeven and Philippe Djian, as a writer, shows us a world where the male figures are really fading, I would say. I mean, a certain idea of the man's power is fading. And of course, Michel has built up her own persona upon these leftovers, if I can say so, of a power, of a certain power of men, which they don't have anymore, at least in that film, I mean, that's easy to say, whether it is the ex-husband who is a failed writer or the son who is who is
still figuring it out.
Trying to figure out what he's going to do, or whether it is even her lover, who is his best friend's husband. I mean, all the men's figure, even the rapist, in a way, happens to be someone very weak in a way, and so, and who might only have this way to exist as a man, just to assault a woman,
I think the only character that comes out as kind of having a parallel with you is Rebecca, interestingly.
Interestingly.
In the end,
because when you find out that she says that she knew all about it, about her husband's behavior, and thank you for giving him what he needed, I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's a very good end. I'm familiar with Verhoeven's films too, but he often, religion plays a significant role in the background in a lot of his films, and I thought in Elle, it's almost representative of a loss of control. The character of your father, because of his religious beliefs, loses control. And I was wondering, you read the novel, and the character of Rebecca is apparently a lot different than what was eventually made on screen with Virginie Efira.
In the book, you mean?
Yeah, in the book.
Yeah, probably. Have you read the book?
I have not. I don't know if it's translated.
But that's what you were told, yes.
Yes.
I don't have a clear memory on how the Rebecca, or
or religious themes.
Yeah, well, yes, there was that in the book, but maybe you mean the character did not even exist in the book?
It's kind of a different interpretation of her.
Okay. I have forgotten about that.
I also find Michel is a very, she's also she feels herself responsible to her father's actions. She's not quite sure how complicit she was as a child being involved in that.
Absolutely.
And so she allows herself to be treated a certain way by strangers, and like the sequence where somebody dumps food on her in public
in the restaurant,
and she accepts it, which reminded me a lot of a scene with Tilda Swinton in We Need to Talk About Kevin, where she's punched in the face.
I haven't seen that film.
It's very good, but where you're assuming the responsibility of others' actions as well. That's supposedly something you're supposed to take on.
Yeah.
And to me, that also reads into her complicated relationship with Patrick. Like, it's a way to expel her guilt almost.
Yes, and it's different. After the movie was over, when I've seen the film, I thought something that it didn't go through my mind when I was doing the film, but it might also be a kind of about guilt, that's for one thing, but also about a very twisted and devised attraction to violence.
Yeah.
In order to understand her own father's violence and what he's been through. I mean, it's something very, very, very weird, but I mean, maybe you can pull a thread from that. I'm not sure which one, but there probably is some. Which
she decides to change the relationship with Patrick after kind of resolving that with her father when she goes to visit him and he dies. There's kind of a change after that.
Yeah,
leading up to it, but
yeah, you're right. Yeah, didn't think of that, but
there's not enough time to talk about.
I know. It's so.
One thing I've always wanted to ask you, you have so many projects going on all the time. Like next year, you already have 5 or 6 projects lined up. I would love
not that many.
Well, Anne Fontaine, Serge Bazin.
No, Anne Fontaine, I just did a little participation in her film.
Marvin.
She's doing that movie based on a book on a young writer, who comes from a very, let's say, poor class family, and so this is his story. And in the book, in the screenplay, in the book, he was meeting a well-known writer who is a kind of who is a sort of go-between for him between where he comes from and higher circles of society. And in that case, instead of meeting a writer, he wants to meet, or he's going to meet, Isabelle Huppert. A well-known actress.
Okay.
But it's only a small participation.
Whatever happened to the Luca Guadagnino film?
Nothing happened.
With Sigourney Weaver and you?
No, it's a pity because it was a beautiful... something happened. Benoît Jacquot did it instead. It's called...
Never Ever...
I don't remember the title. I think it's going to be out in Paris soon.
I saw it at Toronto.
And I'm going to do my... You've seen it?
I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, how is it?
It's okay, but okay. I was disappointed because I wanted to see the version with you.
I know, I was looking. But anyway, we'll be doing our next movie together with Benoît. He's doing a remake of Eva, the Joseph
Losey with Jean Moreau.
Jean Moreau, and so we're doing a remake of that.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we're starting soon in January. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And then I did the Serge Bazin, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I just finished it last Thursday.
I love Tip Top.
Oh, you love Tip Top? Yeah, that was... So you might like this one even more because I think it's going to be... It's called Madame Hyde, Mrs. Hyde.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting.
Okay, I'm sure. I will be looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And then I have this other film which is out to be soon, Flemish film called Souvenir.
I interviewed Bavo de Foon. Yeah.
Okay.
It was very nice, sweet man.
You've seen it in Toronto?
Yes, it's in Toronto, which is a different kind of fairy tale. I was going to bring that up.
Yes, that's a real fairy tale.
Yes, that's a nice fairy tale.
Yes, the other one is kind of twisted fairy tale.
Yes. All right. Well, Elle opens. It opened in New York last Friday and LA Wednesday.
Okay.
All right.